Hi, and welcome back to Rain or Shine Gardening. I'm Katie.
And I'm Justin.
I have a special guest today. This is my husband, Justin, and today is actually our 13th anniversary, our wedding anniversary. And we thought that we would take you along to explain how we created our anniversary rose garden and kind of explain which rose we picked for each year and yeah, just kind of share some more information. I've mentioned here and there to some fellow gardeners and people that we've met in the gardening world about our anniversary rose garden, and people are always interested in hearing more about it. And we also have some changes coming up soon for the anniversary rose garden because I don't know. When we started it, it's our 13th anniversary. We did get a rose for the year we got married to, which means that we have 14 roses in our anniversary rose garden. Um, but yeah, we just kind of started planting them wherever. We've transplanted some of them many times already.
Yeah.
Even like when we moved in here, we didn't have our block wall in our back garden yet, and it was just like a clay hill. Do you remember we had some planted
Yeah.
along on the
They're
hill? They
all
weren't doing
in the
well.
all in the front now.
Yeah, they're all in the front. So we've transplanted quite a few of them, quite a few times. But what we have coming up, I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be this fall or maybe in the springtime. But I want to redo our rose garden and make more of a garden. So right now they're kind of sprinkled around everywhere, but I want to create kind of a flagstone pathway like we have in another area of our garden and put the roses on both sides of the pathway, far enough away from the pathway that people don't get poked by the thorns just walking through. But I want to create more of a garden that we can walk through and see.
And pick the roses instead of have to climb through everything to reach them.
Yeah, because you've been stabbed quite a few times by the thorns of just trying to weed around them
Yeah.
and kind of access other areas for watering and setting up our drip irrigation system. So I think the way that we have in mind for redoing our rose garden will be easier for us to enjoy the roses, get to them to do the maintenance, the deadheading, all of that, and then less thorn accidents. So this is a bouquet in front of us here that we put together this morning for some of our anniversary roses that are currently in bloom. And I've taken some video kind of over the last few months of most of our roses. So as we're talking about each of the years, we'll kind of go through and show some of the videos since roses don't all bloom at the same time. So it's not like we could do a video at one point and get videos of every single rose. So we've kind of had to stagger that to get pictures. But there's quite a few that are blooming. Some of these are on their third flush of the season already because we've been pretty good about deadheading. So that really promotes the roses to want to continue to bloom. And they smell really good.
Yeah.
This bouquet, it's like fragrance in the air here. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through and share more about the roses also. So before we jump into your description of some of our roses, I did want to mention we have three main types of roses, with the exception of one year that we got a climbing rose. But three main types of roses. We have a hybrid tea rose, a Floribunda rose, and a grandiflora rose. So the hybrid tea rose are what's most common in cut flower arrangements. They're known for their single long sturdy stem where they have large blooms and they're nice for bouquets. They're more fragrant typically. It's the iconic florist rose that's used. Um, and then the Floribunda roses are roses that produce flowers in clusters. So we do have some of those that we're going to go through and talk about today. But they will bloom from summer to late fall. The name means many flowers, so that makes sense because there are many blooms on one stem instead of that single rose. And yeah, so it produces flowers in clusters or sprays, and they're really hardy and reliable. And then the grandiflora rose is a hybrid of a hybrid tea and a floribunda. So grandifloras have large blooms on tall stems, and sometimes they have multiple blooms, but they typically still have that long stem. So we'll talk about those as we get into our description of each rose, but those are the main three types of roses that we have. All right. So we got married in September of 2012,
Yep.
September 1st. And for the first year, I don't know if we actually, I don't, how did we even come up with the idea of doing an anniversary rose garden?
It was before our first anniversary.
It must have been right after we got married. And then we were just like, well, we like the garden. It was before we had kind of established a garden here
Mm-hmm.
too. What if we just bought a rose bush and then we could cut roses off for the future? So yeah, we just started. I don't know. It was early on. We decided we wanted to do this, but every year for our anniversary, I guess we can explain the
Yeah.
concept here too. Every year for our anniversary, we go and buy a rose. And what we try to do is connect it somehow to that year. So maybe there was like a special event that happened in that year, or we connect it to the modern or traditional anniversary gift for that year. So I don't know if you all are familiar with that, but there's like this list that you can look up on things that people buy for each year of anniversary that they celebrate. And so there's a modern list and a traditional list. And so it might be things like textiles or paper or sterling silver or diamonds
Right.
for the 10th. Um,
Was that 10?
yeah, diamonds.
Oh.
10th. That's why we bought the one. We'll get to that. Spoiler alert. Um, yeah, so we look up the gift ideas, we think about what happened that year. There's been a couple of years where we've kind of gone off script, and we'll talk about that too. But so we try to find something that's fun and connected somehow to that year. And so it's been really interesting to see like the variance in colors and even the kind of roses, and we'll tell you what kind each of these are too. But that's what we've been doing. And do you remember when we first started, we would shop in September for roses?
Yeah, it was a
We
bad
had no
idea.
idea. It was a really bad idea because roses come out in February, usually,
Yeah.
or like February is when a lot of nurseries start getting their rose supply in. And so if you want a good selection,
Selection. Yeah.
you have to go in
Mm-hmm.
February to go rose shopping. And we had no idea. So we were going to nurseries in September and we're like, oh, take us to your rose section. And there would be like
Two plants.
two plants, half
Yeah.
are dead, like it wasn't the time to shop for roses. So what we decided to do is we didn't want to give up on our anniversary rose garden, but we started shopping earlier in the year. So even though our anniversary is not until September, we would start shopping
Yeah.
when the roses would come out in the stores in February.
Did we
Um,
get any ordered online too? Because they're just by the time we went, there wasn't any choices left.
I think some of the earlier ones
Yeah.
we did end up, I think maybe for our fifth year, we'll go through that one, but I think that one we did order online. We were a little. That was also in the thick of when we had very small babies and children,
Yeah.
and so it's like, oh, our anniversary's here. We didn't get a rose. Some years are a little bit like that, but so we changed our strategy a little bit over the years, and we do go shopping as soon as roses hit the store. And this year we went in February to Al's Garden Center. It's a local garden center here to where we live. And there
Mm-hmm.
were hundreds of roses.
Yeah.
And so it's just fun. We spend time walking through, reading descriptions of roses, seeing if, what speaks to
Yeah.
us or what jumps out. So just kind of a fun little date to have too earlier in the
Yeah.
year. I have my little cheat sheet here where I created a little chart of what year, what anniversary it is, what type of rose it is, the name of the rose, and the kind of our justification or reasoning of why we got that rose. And so I'm going to be going through that. And Justin has the tags. We've saved most of them. We're missing two. It is what it is. Sometimes things get misplaced or things get busy. But he has the tag, so we'll try to show a close up of the tag and then a close up of the rows as we're going through these two. So our first year was 2012, which was the year we got married.
Yeah.
We met in 2009 and got engaged 2010
Yeah.
and then got married in 2012. And so our first rose is White Magic, and it's a hybrid tea rose. And this one, we were just looking for a rose that kind of signified that first year of marriage or getting married. And so we thought the name White Magic was good because, a white wedding dress
Right.
and everything's magical and you're getting married, you're in that honeymoon phase um, of everything. So we thought that that was a good name for White Magic. This rose specifically has kind of struggled in my garden. This is one that I have transplanted probably 6 times.
Yeah.
And most recently, just this year, I moved it again when we did some of our garden bed expansion projects. So I do have a video of it, but it's been so hot that some of the petals on the rose got a little scorched. So it's not looking ideal, but it is a really pretty rose. And hopefully, it is placed somewhere where it can now thrive and not be transplanted for a little while. Our first anniversary was in 2013, and we got the rose called New Year. And this is a grandiflora rose. And the traditional and modern gifts for this year were paper and clocks. And so here's our justification. So some of these are a little stretched, but um, so clocks is one of the gifts.
Right.
And then clocks you tell time on, and year is a measure of time,
Right.
and new year is time
Hmm.
related, right? So clock, it kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
it was connected. Some years are easier to find connections than others. But I really like this rose. This is it's more orange, I think, than maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, this
Pretty
shows this
orange.
shows more gold, but when it blooms, it's more orange. We don't have any of it in our bouquet today because all the blooms were a little bit spent. But yeah, it shows more orange. So we'll show some videos of that up on the screen. The let's see, second anniversary, which was 2014, is a rose called Medallion, and this is a really gorgeous rose. It is a hybrid tea rose. And the traditional and modern gifts for this year were cotton and china. And so here our justification was that you drink tea out of china,
Hmm.
and this is a tea rose.
Tea rose. Yep.
So maybe
Think we probably shopped in September for this
I
one.
think that was a September. Some of these are a little stretched to find that connection, but that was our connection for this one. It's really pretty. I think we do. Oh yeah, on the side here, this really pretty creamy, almost a light peach, but it's kind of like a tan color, not tan, off white.
Right.
It's a really creamy, pretty color rose. So it goes well with all the pinks and the purples and the yellows, everything. It goes really well and a really big size blooms. So that's a really pretty one. I like having that one. I think the picture on the tag shows a little bit more
Yeah.
peach orange color, but
Orangey.
it's definitely in our garden. It's more of a lighter color. Okay, and this is one of my favorites too. I have a lot of favorites. So, our third anniversary was in 2015, and this rose is called Pop the Cork. And this was actually one of the Portland Rose Festival roses. We live close to Portland on the east side over here. So, Pop the Cork is a hybrid tea rose, and the gifts for this year were leather and crystal glass. So, this one makes a little more sense, right? So, crystal glass is the gift, and pop the cork. So when you pop the cork, you pour your champagne into a glass,
Glass.
which may or may not be of crystal.
Right.
But so that connection there, that was an easier one to make.
Easier
Maybe
one.
we
Yeah.
shopped a little bit earlier that year.
This one also is like orange on the tag.
Yeah, and that's
Is that
that's this orangey
orange
one
one?
in front
Yeah.
here, but it actually fades. It fades. I don't know if I can get this one out without destroying the
Mm.
bouquet here, but it fades to like a
Yellow, pink. Yeah.
pink, lighter yellow, and then like a pink on the edges. So it's really pretty. And we'll pop up some pictures of it there on the screen too. But I like that one. It's really it has a lot of blooms. It's maybe one of our roses that's the healthiest and doing really well. Has Yeah, it's really bloomed a lot
Hmm.
this season. So it's doing really great. So that was our third anniversary in 2015. Our fourth anniversary in 2016 uh is a rose called Heirloom.
Yeah.
And it's a hybrid tea rose. And it's this purple colored one. I don't know if you can see it here, but we'll put some video up. And it smells really good. And let's see, heirloom. It's a hybrid tea rose. And so the gifts for this year, for fourth anniversary, are fruits, flowers, and appliances.
Yeah.
So maybe a little more difficult to find a connection to appliances. But as far as fruits go, this is why we picked this rose, because on the tag, the description actually says elusive fragrance of apple, wine, and ripe raspberries.
Very
So,
fruity smelling rose.
yeah, it's the one that I think we can smell the most from. Yeah, smell that. It's really fruit and sweet. So that one was a little bit easier. In the description, it had a lot of fruit, so
Right.
we could connect it to the gift for that year. So that was fun. Okay, and then on to our fifth. This one we did order online. It is called Black Cherry, and it's a Floribunda rose. And the gift for this year is wood and silverwares. So this was in 2017 when we had our fifth wedding anniversary. And again, one of our babies was one
One,
and the other was three,
three.
turning four.
Right.
So it was a busy time in our lives. So ordering a rose online seemed like the best thing to do this year. But wood silverwares uh, is the traditional and modern anniversary gift. And so what we ended up with, this is called black cherry. So we thought, well, cherry is a type of wood,
Right.
type of tree, cherry wood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we justified that
Yep.
rose. No, I think that one took us a while too.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why we had to go online, because we didn't
Couldn't
really
find
find
any,
something that we
yeah.
wanted in the stores. We also didn't have any red roses yet. I don't think we ended up with any in this bunch because they were kind of all spent. But it's a real deep red that almost has some like dark black color
Yeah.
outlining on it. So it really is vibrant when it blooms. But yeah, that's how we connected that one. The cherry wood with the wood gift,
Right.
with the black cherry rose. Okay, 2018 was our sixth anniversary, and this rose is called Sweet Surrender. We don't have any in our bouquet today because it is also out of bloom right now, but we did take some video. This is by far our most fragrant rose in the garden, and it is well named Sweet Surrender because it is very sweet. And the type of rose is it's a hybrid tea rose, and the traditional and modern gifts are candy and iron wood. And so this one was really easy to find because candy is connected to sweet,
right.
and the rose is called Sweet Surrender. So it does smell like candy. It is so sweet. It's really strong. Like this is a rose you could be walking past and you can smell it really strong. So if you're sensitive to rose smells, it's not the rose for you. If you love that sweet, strong rose, almost perfumey smell, this is the rose that you want to have in your garden. Okay, and then let's see, our seventh anniversary is Anna's Promise, and that was in 2019. And that's a Grandiflora rose. And that year, the anniversary gifts for traditional modern are wool, copper, and desk sets. And so this one, we went with the description of the rose. Do you want to read the
Large,
description?
novel golden tan flowers with a copper reverse exhibit a sweet and spicy fruity fragrance that will freshen up your garden. Well clothed and deep glossy green foliage.
Yeah. So if you
Copper
pick that up,
and copper coloring.
it calls it a, yeah, it says it has a copper reverse on the petals, and that is the gift, is copper. So that one was fun. We found the actual name and gift in the description of the rose, so that one was pretty easy. That was our seventh anniversary. This rose has struggled a little bit in our garden. I believe it is a grafted rose because what we're noticing is that some kind of rose that is different is growing up from the base of it. So I'm not sure how this one's going to do for the long term. There might be some years that we just have to replace roses, and we're aware that roses don't live forever and sometimes things happen. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But it is a pretty rose when it's blooming. Okay, our eighth anniversary, which was 2020, a lot happening in 2020, is Sunstruck, and it's a hybrid tea rose. And the gift is bronze, pottery linens, and lace. And so this one was a little bit of a stretch too. I think what we ended up saying was the description is deep yellow, gold blushed, and bordered with apricot orange. And that kind of
Bronze
reminded us of
hue.
bronze. So it wasn't a direct connection there,
Yeah.
but kind of as close as we got that year.
Yeah.
That was one we kind of had to stretch it a little bit. But that's another really pretty one. We have a lot of roses that are kind of in this yellowy orange, bronze, apricot, gold color family. Our ninth anniversary in 2021 is Pink Brick House, and this one is unique. We do not have another rose like this. You can see it right here in our arrangement that we put together, and then we've got some video of it as well. This is called Pink Brick House, and it's a Floribunda rose, and the gift is pottery leather. So for this one, I think what we were our connection here was that pottery is made of clay and bricks are made of clay.
Right.
And so brick house, pink brick house seemed connected to pottery. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's what we picked for that one. And I like that one. It's a really hot pink, so it's really bright. And some of our bouquets are more subdued and toned down, but when you want something really bright, really summery, really happy, this is a really good rose. It's also unique because it's a Floribunda rose. Um, but most of our roses are hybrid teas, but we do have a couple of the Floribunda roses. And they tend to have more clusters of roses instead of single stems. Okay, 10th anniversary. This was a big one, milestone.
Yeah.
10th wedding anniversary was in 2022. And this one we did something a little different. We got our first and only of our anniversary rose garden climbing roses. So this is a climbing iceberg rose. And the gift for 10 years is tin, aluminum, or diamond jewelry. So 10 years is the diamond
Diamond.
anniversary. And this is the connection we made to that, right? So diamonds sometimes are referred to as ice.
Ice. Right. Nickname.
So we've got an iceberg climbing rose
Yeah.
for this one. So this is growing by our front archway that leads from kind of where our front door is out into our front garden space. And yeah, that one was pretty easy. I don't know if we kind of hesitated for a bit about getting a climbing rose. I don't know. Anyway, we did it,
Yeah.
but
Hasn't ever moved. We put that arch in and put the rose
yeah.
there.
It's done okay there. All of our roses seem to get black spot at some point during the season and completely defoliate,
Right.
and then we have to treat them. And my goal is to always be better at that. So, always learning and growing with roses. Okay, our 11th anniversary, and we don't have the tag for this one. I have a picture of the tag, but I don't have the tag. But our 11th anniversary rose was in 2023, and it is sterling silver, and it's a hybrid tea. And the gift for this year was steel and fashion jewelry. So obviously, we went with the metal theme because the gift was steel, and we found this sterling silver
Yeah.
rose. So we tried to find something that was connected, and we found the rose that had a type of metal in its
Mhm.
name. So that's what we went with. And it's a really neat rose. It's a really light purple, so it almost fades to gray when it blooms, and it does really look like a silver, or like a steel,
Mm.
like a metal. Our 12th year, we got Moonstone. Oh, and this is a pretty rose. I think we have some in budded form in our arrangement here, but we took some video of it when it's more in bloom. This was last year in 2024, and it's a hybrid tea rose. And the gifts for this year are silk, linens, pearls, and pearls just reminded us of Moonstone.
Right.
I don't
They
know. It
both
seems,
have that like pearlescent shine,
yeah.
moonstone and pearls.
Yeah. So that one and silk linens with moonstone. I don't know. It kind of all fit into the description for us and what we were thinking about. The pretty pink border on this rose is really amazing. This one has a really long life too. It doesn't lose its petals like some roses lose petals pretty quickly. It holds on to petals, but it also is impacted by the heat. So sometimes the petals will get browned really quickly. But when it's kind of more mild weather, this rose will hang out, and I mean, it has a life for a couple weeks, even on the bush, which is really nice. And then this year is our 13th wedding anniversary,
Today,
2025. Today,
right?
actually. Yeah, so today is our anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
13 years. And this year we got a rose called Falling in Love. And the gift, it's a hybrid tea. We also misplaced the tag, so I have a picture of it, but I don't have it with me. I gotta find it. I know I have it. I
Yeah,
saved it somewhere. Lace and textile furs. And then the reason that we got that rose was because our first dance song at our wedding was Can't Help Falling in Love, sung by Ingrid Michaelson. And yeah, so Falling in Love was the name of the rose, and that was our first dance
yeah.
song. So we had to get that rose. It was special. And even though it doesn't really have much to do with textile furs or lace,
Lace, yeah,
it just kind of fit our theme of our wedding and our anniversary. So we had to get that one.
yeah.
So yeah, 13
13
years and 14 roses, including our rose that we got for our wedding
wedding,
year. It's a pretty good garden so far. It's our 13th anniversary, and we have 14 roses, including the one that we got for the year that we got married,
2012.
and then one for
Yeah,
each anniversary after. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to our new anniversary garden, our revamp, our remodel of it, our reinvention of our rose garden that we're going to have a project coming up here soon,
yeah,
maybe. Got my project helper. Are you ready to dig out all these roses and transplant them?
sure,
He's always up for a project. So, yeah, we have that to look forward to, and many more years of rose
right.
bushes to go shopping for. And
February garden center
yeah, make sure to
searches.
hit up if you're looking for roses. February is a great time to do it. You'll have the most options and choices that time of year. So mark it on your calendar. Get ready, get out into your garden center. Rain or shine. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.